I came out of Megalopolis feeling a lot of things, but one thing I didn't feel was disappointment, which is not really a good thing, but not exactly a bad thing either. Let me explain. I run hot and cold in Francis Ford Coppola. I thought his two Godfather films were acknowledged classics, but conventional filmmaking, a carefully curated portrait of a corrupt American family that's made to look tragic, if somewhat glamorous. I thought Apocalypse Now was a well done Vietnam War movie that had almost nothing to do with Vietnam. That finale with the water buffalo and the montagnards, those aren't montagnards, they're Igorots. They're a Filipino mountain tribe. And of course, I have to mention The Conversation, probably his best early work. Um, a well done portrait of loneliness and introverted paranoia. I much prefer Coppola's wilder, less disciplined later works. Rumblefish is black and white and melodramatic and occasionally surreal. His emotionally extravagant One from the Heart, probably my favorite of his later works. Bram Stoker's Dracula, a showcase of old school special effects, even if Keanu Reeves couldn't carry a British accent to save his life. And now this, probably his wildest, most undisciplined yet, retelling of the Catalonian conspiracy transposed to modern day New York. Call the picture a prequel to Fritz Lang's Metropolis, only instead of telling how the city heaved in conflict and was nearly brought to ruin, Coppola tells of how the city was established and what it cost to get them there. The setting is America, only an America where Rome didn't fall, and the nation's greatest city, New York, is now called New Rome. And maybe the most unsettling element in this parallel world is that there's a total lack of an Asian presence. No Filipino faces, no Indian saris, no Chinese calligraphy on the storefronts or billboards, no sushi or izakaya or Korean barbecue shops. It's as if half the planet had ceased to exist. And I find that fascinating and disturbing at the same time. Cesar Catalina, the architect inventor, played by Adam Driver, wants to build Megalopolis out of a bioadaptive material called megalon, which he apparently had invented out of a sense of grief and passion for his dead wife. Not only is it capable of creating unusual organic structures, it enables Caesar to stop, rewind, fast forward time, cause objects to rise in the air, heal bullet wounds. Megalon is in effect Coppola's mega MacGuffin, plot device to turn Caesar into the film's Prospero, a wizard taking to the stage, maybe for the last time in Shakespeare's final play. Maybe my biggest problem with the film is how vague this all is, Megalon being the biggest sin up there with James Cameron's Unobtainium. Is the material psychoactive? Is it manufactured or grown? What goes into its production? How can it be employed? The finished city is only partly visible, obscured by the fact that it glows like a bunch of Christmas decorations that fell on the floor, or like Hollywood's standard issue notion of the human spirit lighting the world from within. Half the surreal images in the film can partly be explained by Megalon, which takes away from the surrealism's power. You know how a trick loses impact when it's explained? Comic dialogue can cover a lot of sins, at least they can for me. But Coppola and his massive cast are too busy trying to come up with some new kind of observational truth to even bother to come up with comic dialogue. Only one who seems able to produce it without much effort on the fly is Aubrey Plaza, as Cesar's former mistress, Wow Platinum. Cute name. Or maybe because she bats her huge eyes and flashes that wicked grin, and you're dazzled into thinking her dialogue is comic, and you can laugh at her same time as you're turned on by her. Film is a slog for the most part. What helps sustain interest is Coppola's visual style, his vision of transforming New Rome, the film, into Caesar's, Coppola's Dream City, sorry, Dream Movie. The style works best when Coppola is working with actual buildings, footage of which was shot years back on high definition video and 24 frame per second digital cameras, later with sets and period exteriors made to look like New York, actually various locations in Georgia, which offered tax incentives that they shoot there. He manages to make this mix of old footage, interior shots, and shots made to look like exteriors recall the scale and grandeur and variety of Lang's Metropolis, which is quite an achievement. It helps that Metropolis itself was saddled with a sentimental half-baked script as well, and God's own arsenal of outsized models and fascinating practical effects. Megalon isn't the only element that affects the passage of time. When Cesar is falling in love with his new true love Julia, played by Natalie Emmanuel, we're asked to believe in their romance, and time passes more slowly. I eventually do believe, but it took a little effort. When Plaza is on screen, usually with Shia LaBeouf as Claudio, the film kicks into high gear and purrs away in a manner that helps us accept the on-screen shenanigans as just part of comedy, which makes one think. If Coppola had recast this as black satire instead of ambitious romance, the whole might actually work, or at least work smoother, at least go down easier. But it is what it is, and Coppola apparently is sticking by this, his release version. And so matters stand unless Coppola, as he's been known to do in the past, starts tinkering with his final product, adding deleted scenes and fiddling with the running time, who knows? Someday we might get the Megalopolis we can actually like without getting an hernia from the effort. And if you're interested, I write more about the film in my blog, Critic After Dark at blogspot.com. That's Critic After Dark at blogspot.com. Thanks.